Hey guys, how the frig going today? It's Saturday here on Vlogging Life, St. Paddy's Day, if you will. A day where everybody gets loaded and drinks green beer and probably reproduces babies. But a while ago, anybody of you who watches my YouTube, who follows me on Instagram, probably saw I posted a picture of a trunk with of a car with the trunk open, and that was from work. And that picture has caused a heated argument that I'll talk about, as I'm currently heading out the door to go get some food at the grocery store, and I'm going to get a 12-pack of James to drink tonight. So let's pitter patter. Gotta love it. It's like 10 after 8. There's still a little bit of light out. Sometimes I like daylight savings time. This is the only time. Ooh, eyeballs of the Ford. Okay, so I posted this picture on Instagram. If I remember, I'll grab it and I'll put it here just so you can see it if you haven't been on Instagram. Basically, at work, I looked out the window and saw this car with the trunk open. So I took a picture. Well, I shared it on Instagram and Facebook, and everybody on Facebook was like, there's mixed signals. Like, some people were like, wow, I'm surprised no meth heads came and raided the thing. And then there's other people saying, Adam, you should have been a good Samaritan and went and closed it. Okay. Speaking of being a good Samaritan, all right. In the winter, my buddy told me that this happened to him after I told him I helped a guy out of a ditch, not out of a ditch, out of a snowbank. Same thing happened to him. Guy lost control, put his car up into a snowbank. He stopped and asked the guy if he's okay, and then he offered his services to pull him out. My buddy said sure. The car's front end was fucked. What my buddy said, but no pictures were taken, so no evidence anyway. He pulls the guy out of the snowbank, and the car's still drivable, so buddy drives it home. That night, the cops show up at his house to inform him that he's being charged for damaging property. The guy he just pulled out of the snowbank called the cops on him and said all the damage to the front end of his car was done by this guy here when he pulled him out. Now, your insurance will not cover that lawsuit because you're not a tow truck. You don't have insurance for towing. You have no insurance for recovery. Tow truck drivers have this shit. So if they go and pull your car out and they do more damage to it, who gives a shit? It's covered, right? But me as an individual driving this pickup truck, I don't have tow and recovery insurance. And the problem is the guy hit the snowbank and did damage to the car, but there's no evidence of what damage was done by the snowbank and what damage was done by being pulled back out of the snowbank. Now my buddy is being charged for the damages and he has to pay that out of pocket. All he was trying to do is be a nice guy and save this guy a couple bucks from a tow truck because it's going to cost him a bunch of money. This asshole turns around and nails him for helping him out. After he told me that story, now I'm really sketchy about helping people out. Like, I'm really thinking about it. Like, the reason why I didn't go over and just close the trunk for the individual was because, number one, I didn't have gloves. Therefore, chances are my fingers were going to touch it. Therefore, leaving fingerprints. Therefore, if anything's missing and the cops do a fingerprint sketch, I don't think they have my prints on file, but when I had to do a police record check, they did fingerprint me for some reason. So maybe they do have me on file. Imagine the cops showing up and saying, yeah, you're wanted for theft over 1,000 or whatever was in the trunk of that car. For robbing this car, we found your fingerprints on the scene, come with us. So because I was a good Samaritan and closed the trunk, because my fingerprints were left at the scene, I'm now prime suspect for robbing this car. So I ended up doing something different, which I think was the right move. Obviously, I was at work. I wasn't on break. I didn't have my lunch yet. I had to wait a half an hour for lunch. There was a party going on at the restaurant on the same street as the car. So I went over there, went inside, and I said, does anybody here own a red Kia and are you parked on this street? And they said yes. And I said, listen, your trunk has been open for the past hour and a half. I noticed it from the building across the way. Thought I should let you know in case you had any valuables back there. There's an excellent chance they're probably not there anymore. Go look into it. Now, I never had touched the vehicle. I just walked in there, and my co-worker can vouch for the time that I was in the building. And the picture I took of the car with the trunk open as well. So even though this still could come back on, or it still could have come back on me, the cops could have said, well, you noticed it and you did nothing. Well, I could explain my reason for doing nothing, but if they have no evidence of me being in there and I have no gloves, there's no probable cause in my mind. But it's like, you try to help people out nowadays and they just find ways to screw you over. And it's not like it used to be in the olden days where everybody helped everybody and everybody was grateful for it. Now it's, how can I make a buck off that guy's kindness, you know? Like, I feel bad for my buddy because he's looking at over $13,000 worth of damage to this vehicle. That excellent chance he didn't cause any of it. Mind you, no, I shouldn't say that, because he did cause damage to the front bumper when he pulled the car out, because the bumper was hooked on a glacier. It was hooked on a fragment of ice, and it tore the skin and cracked it more, and it broke a headlight. So he might be responsible for some of the damage, but he was just doing a nice thing for the guy, and the guy turns around and fucks him. Like, not very cool. Not very cool indeed. Anyway, I'm going to hit the grocery store because I need to get some noms, and then I'm going to hit the beer store because I kind of want to get liquored tonight. Alright, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Friggin' stoked for warmer days, people. Just did a walk around in the truck. She's practically gray with all the salt on it. It's disgusting. Needs a bath. And not when it's cold, because then your door's free shut. Anyway, let's pitter patter and have at her. They had a deal on steaks, so I bought a 2-pack, one for tonight, one for tomorrow night, and some other things and stuff and junk. And bought a 12-pack of Miller High Life. Love that kind. So good. So tasty. A lot of people are like, oh, get Miller Genuine Draft. I've had it. Not a big fan. I like the High Life because it's a smoother version of Pils. The old Pilsners I used to buy, you know. It's a little smoother than that. It goes down good. Has a nice taste to it. Nice clean taste. It's good. But anyway, back on the topic of what I was talking about prior to going grocery shopping. You know, what would you do if you were in my situation and you saw a trunk open? Would you go over and close it? Would you ignore it? Would you be greasy and rob the car? Like, what would you do? Because I personally think I did the right decision of just notifying the restaurant and letting it go from there. But according to the internets, mainly my friends on Facebook, I should have been the hero of the day and closed the trunk. But honestly, if I would have just closed the trunk and did nothing, then the individuals would have never known it was open. If there was something in the trunk that was of value, they wouldn't have known it was missing until they actually went looking for it. It could have caused a lot of problems in my mind. Maybe I'm just overthinking again, because I do that. I do overthink everything. Well, we all know this, so I don't even know what I'm telling you. So, yeah. Oh, last night I came to this gas station right beside me. Saw it was $1.09 a liter. Went to go put gas in my truck, and the pumps, they wouldn't take the debit card. Guy comes over the PA and he's like, what's the problem? I'm like, yeah, your debit machine's not taking my card. He goes, go buy gas elsewhere. And I'm like, what? And he goes, go somewhere else. I'm like, but what's going on? He goes, you go now. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So I went to the gas station down the road. I have no idea why the guy just lost his cool on me. I was just trying to pay by debit, and I just told him, I said, the machine's not taking my debit card. It's declining at the moment I put it in. And he's like, you go, you leave. So I went to the gas station down the road and paid by debit, and it worked fine. I had money in my account. We get paid on Fridays. Like, I don't know what the big freaking deal was, but the guy was like flipping out. It's pissing me right off. Son of a bitch. But whatever. I put gas in the truck. It's pretty sad though. You pump $40 into her and You get a quarter of a tank. But you know what's funny? A quarter of a tank lasted me 3 weeks. Probably could have got a month out of a quarter of a tank because I don't really drive that much. Like, I got 3,200 kilometers on the truck right now. And in a little over a month, I've had it for a year because April 28th is my anniversary day. That's my 1 year anniversary of owning this thing. So, it's not like I live down south. Like my buddy, he bought his car, his Ford Focus RS, and he's already put over 30,000 clicks on it. But he lives down south, and he comes to North Bay and back all the time, and he's always up and down and everywhere with it. Oh, sorry, he put 11,000 clicks on it in a year. But he's always coming to and from North Bay, back down south. So yeah, he cranks the mileage out. I just drive, go to work, go home, go get groceries, go home. I don't joyride like I used to, but oh well. Anyway, almost home. I'll try to meet you guys once I'm there. Peace. Just drove a steak in the air fryer. Listen, you can hear it. And put some rice in the rice cooker with some beef broth. It's freaking good when you do that too, because on the beef broth binds to the rice, and it kind of like, as it's absorbing the water, it's absorbing the beef broth, and it just makes the rice so much tastier. You can do it with chicken broth too. It's your call. But if you're just having basic rice with, and you know what's funny? Back in the day when I used to buy those $1.49 rice packs, I probably still got a couple of them in here. The Uncle Ben's kind and all that. Or maybe I don't. Oh, okay, never mind. I ate them all. But they're $1.49 a piece, right? Where you can buy for $4 a giant pillow sack of rice and 99 cents for a thing of broth, powdered broth. Throw that in the rice cooker, tastes just as good. Well, this little shit trying to be all, she doesn't like the camera one bit. You don't like this kind, do you? No, you don't like the camera, do you? You don't like it? Or do you? I can't tell with you. You're a freaking mental. You want a pet? Oh, you want a pet? I found out if you scratch her on the head, like right here between the ears, well, she usually likes it, but then she'll starts purring, and then she just starts drooling so bad. It's so gross. Like a little fountain of spit coming out of her face. Anyway, I'm going to let that cook. I just wanted to make a quick video and talk about what happened. If anybody's on Instagram and saw the picture, or on Facebook and saw the picture, I wanted to see how you guys would handle that situation. So let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, I'm going to go. So thanks for watching. Like, favorite, and comment. And until next time, people, keep on vlogging.